welcome back to Love Your Food. This week we have a very simple and basic sort of side dish for you. This is a very simple salad that is popular across India and in a bunch of areas in Africa as well, called Kachumber or Kachumbari. And it is just a very simple little side dish, and we're going to start off with some ingredients here. We're going to start off with an onion. This is a sweet Vidalia onion. There's going to be some lemon juice, some cucumber, some tomato, and hot chili pepper. Now, we are using one of our homemade dried Thai bird chilies. You can also use fresh. I think more traditional to use a fresh chili. So a Thai bird or a serrano or something like that would be just fine in this. In the African version of this, they tend to use habanero or Scotch bonnet. Now we've removed the seeds. We don't want it to be too hot, but I mean you can certainly decide for yourself what level of heat you want in this dish. It's a very fresh sort of side dish. It's used as sort of a relish on curries sometimes. In India, it's absolutely delicious as well. So we're just going to chop this up pretty finely. If you don't have the patience for this, you can always use some fresh ground cayenne pepper as well, or just ground cayenne pepper. It doesn't have to be fresh ground. And then we're going to slice up our cucumber. Now this is, as I said, sort of a relish almost. So we're going to dice the cucumber. So you see Chef Caleb here is going to cut the cucumber into just sort of slabs. And then from there, he's going to cut it into strips, and then that makes it really easy to cut it into a nice dice. And of course, if you feel that you want to, you can always peel your cucumber. We like to leave the skin on. It adds some nice texture, a lot of nutrients in the skin as well, so it's good for you. And that's about as fine as we want it. That's about right. So we're just going to set that aside. Now this is our onion. We are not using like a Spanish white onion here, and we were a little disappointed actually to determine that this one had been a little bit temperature mistreated. It looked like it had been frozen at some point, so we did have to throw away some of this. It had gone a little mushy. But this is a Vidalia onion. It's quite sweet. It's not like a regular white onion, which has quite a bite to it. This one's got a lot less bite. It's got a lot more sweetness, really interesting flavor, and won't overpower the salad. It won't overpower the other ingredients, which are quite mild. And again, we're just going to dice this to about the same size as the cucumber, honestly. So we're going to slice it into rings or strips, and then cut it into a dice from there. You can see here we're just finishing it off. And again, the finer you're cutting something, the more it helps for your knife to be sharp. Now there are lots of variations on this dish. Some of them use carrot, some of them use cabbage. It really depends on the region that it comes from and the ingredients that are on hand. So there's lots and lots of different variations on this. This is just a very, very basic recipe for this. So we're going to add some salt. This is just some plain kosher salt. We'll get some of the juices going from here. We're going to mix together the onion, the cucumber, and the dried chili that we have in there. We just want to make sure that everything's well combined. If you find any little clumps that you haven't cut quite all the way through, you can just mush them apart with your spoon. So while that's resting and some of the juices are coming out, we are going to get ready with our tomatoes. So we're going to take the stem out of the tomato, and much like the cucumber, we're going to slice this into slabs, essentially. And from there, we're going to cut it into longer strips. Once again, it does help to have a very sharp knife for this. And then from the strips, we're just going to dice it. And once again, everything's going to be about the same size in this, which makes for a pretty consistent texture all the way through. Of course, all of the different elements have different textures individually, so it is a really nice, sort of delicious dish with lots of texture. You can enjoy on your palate as well. From here, we're going to add the juice of half a lemon. And after that, we're just going to get everything well combined in there. We do want to season it again after adding the tomato and the lemon. So a little bit more salt. You can see a lot of the liquid has come out of the onion and the cucumber, and we've added as much of the juice from the tomatoes as we can as well. And you just want to stir that until it is all well combined. So there you have it. Everything's well combined in there, so the lemon juice is distributed through all of the vegetables we've got in here. We've got the salt combined with everything. And after that, you just want to wrap that, put it in the fridge, and let that sit. Now's a good time to just give it a quick taste to make sure that the flavors are pretty much balanced. If you want a little more tartness, you can always add more lemon juice. If it's not salty enough, add a dash of salt. But that's it. That's the whole thing. You want to let that sit ideally overnight before you serve it. Just to let those flavors marry and get everything together. You can serve it the same day if you want to do it pretty soon after, but you do need to let it sit and rest for a little while before you eat it, so that it's full flavor. So if you like this recipe, please do like and subscribe. And if you have any recipes you'd like to see Chef Caleb try on the channel, please let us know in the comments below. And remember to love your food.